Good afternoon and welcome. This is Sunday Afternoon Live with Buzz Kemper. And so I have a confession to make. The show has been called Sunday Afternoon Live with Buzz Kemper since its inception, and I've been doing the show for almost 3 years now. This is the first time it's actually been live. So it has been a fib up to this point, but I'm hoping that I'll gain all my karma points back by actually doing it live this time. And there's a whole story behind how this happened, and it kind of started with my friend Kyle Knox, who's sitting next to me here. But we will get to that story a little bit later. What I want to tell you right now is that you hopefully are listening to this program live on 98.7 WVMO. If not, you have the option of looking at it and actually seeing the video on either the Audio for the Arts website, audioforthearts.com/AFA Live, or the WVMO Facebook page also has the video on it. What we're doing on this show is we're featuring a group that I've wanted to have on for some time. It's a group that we get to record in their larger form, their macro form, and the group is called WYSO. It stands for Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestras. Now, we couldn't quite get the whole orchestra in the studio. We have to. We're going to try to get a TARDIS studio that's bigger on the inside, but we haven't achieved that yet. But we're going to do the chamber orchestra version, or the chamber group version of this orchestra. And the first thing I want to do is just find out who all of you people are before we do this. I'm all tangled up here, so let me see if I can untie myself from here. And I would like the members of the group to introduce yourselves.
I'm Ben, Davey Setson.
I'm Ellen Zhao.
Hi.
I'm Grace Kim.
Okay.
I'm Ava Kenny.
Okay.
And I'm Mary Shu.
Okay, and Ava wants to actually tell us a little bit about the piece before they jump into this first one. So what was Mendelssohn up to with this piece?
So Mendelssohn wrote this piece in 1845, 2 years before his death, and he actually initially did not want it to be published during his lifetime because he was not happy with his fourth movement. So it was published a few years, like in 1859, it was premiered as, it was the first pop concert at the James Hall in London.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that information. Now, I almost forgot one quick thing. I always open the show with a liner, and I have a musician do a liner for me. So I'm going to see if I can get Mira out here. Would you do my liner for me so we can actually officially? The show can't officially start until I do the liner. So here you go.
Hi, I'm Mira Bradley, violinist, and we're listening to Buzz Kemper live on 98.7 WVMO.
You rock. Thank you. Thank you. And whenever you guys are ready, hit it. Excellent. Thank you very much. And Kyle, the first thing I want to ask you, I should have asked before, but does this quintet actually have a name, or is this just a one of the chamber groups within WYSO that is unnamed?
Yeah, more the latter.
Okay.
I suppose if a group were to leave WYSO or go off and do competitions, they might give themselves a name, but at the moment it's just this is the group that they're all paired together at the beginning of the year when they pick repertoire.
Okay, cool. So we will just call them the WYSO String Quintet. And my guest is Kyle Knox, and Kyle and I have known each other for quite some time now. I get to work with both he and his wife in different capacities. His wife Naha is the concertmaster for the Madison Symphony Orchestra. Kyle is the associate conductor for the Madison Symphony and also the music director for the Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestra. So first of all, thank you for pushing me to be bold. The way this came about was that I wanted to feature WYSO in some fashion on my radio show. I had done this with Madison Youth Choirs, and I thought, it's really important to give young people some airtime, which they don't ordinarily get, and let them show what they've got, and let people in the community see what incredible young people we have. And Kyle pushed the envelope a little bit, and he said, "I'd love to do it, Buzz, but can we do it live?" And so I said, "Well, thampfully, my sanity is in question, so sure."
No safety nets.
No safety nets. I love it. So, give me just a brief overview of what is, and for those of you listening, it's plural. It's Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestras. There is more than one group, just like Madison Youth Choirs has more than one choir. And so it's an educational opportunity. It's all kinds of things. Tell me what in your words is the mission of WYSO?
Well, first I should tell you, I guess, what WYSO is comprised of.
Okay.
And primarily it began, of course, as an orchestral organization to train young people to put them together in a large ensemble that we call an orchestra, which mixes strings and woodwinds and brass and percussion, et cetera, plays the major canon of orchestral repertoire. And over the many decades that it has existed, over 50 years now, it has expanded from one orchestra to 2, 3, 4, and now we have 5 orchestras, starting around age 10 with our Opus 1 ensemble, up to Sinfonietta, and then the concert orchestra is right in the middle there. That's the first full orchestra that actually has wind, brass, percussion combined with strings. And then there's the Philharmonia Orchestra, and then the top group is the Youth Orchestra, which is the group that I personally conduct. In addition to that, of course, we have Music Makers, which operates out of Fitchburg on the south side of town, and of course, also we provide chamber music opportunities for our members and all these kinds of enriching opportunities that create a well-rounded musical experience for young musicians.
Yeah, it's so terrific, and I'm always pleasantly surprised when young people want to do this as opposed to be in a rock band or do and I think I listen to all of it. I think all art forms are legitimate, but in your experience, what is it that excites somebody to say? I want to play viola in an orchestra. I want to play violin in an orchestra. What do you hear from people? Should I ask them?
Well, you could. I imagine you might get a. I don't know what answer they would give you, as I don't know what any other musician would tell you, but I suspect it might have one thing in common. Well, there's of course some people who do it because their parents make them.
Okay, fair enough.
That's real.
All right, that's okay.
They have no options.
I get that.
That said, the answer that I prefer, and I think that is the deeper one and the real one, is that people are just drawn to certain kinds of art forms and music because music, where the words end, the music begins, as they say.
Yes.
And I think, of course, there's great music in every genre, rock, jazz, anything classical. And if music speaks to you, then you pursue it and you try to like participate in it, and it like activates that part of your brain and your spirit. And so like as a kid, I was intrinsically interested in classical music. My parents were not musicians. I was just drawn to it. And I don't know where that comes from. And I suspect there are people in this room for whom that is also the case. So I don't know what that is. It's like it speaks to you. It's a miracle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is. And you get to work on both ends of it, because you get to work with these young people, and then with the Madison Symphony, and I imagine that creates some like experiences and some very different experiences. Would that be correct?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's very different working with younger musicians than working with professionals, et cetera. The cultural differences, and people are at different stages of their lives, and technical accomplishment, all that kind of stuff. But people are always, people, again, they end up in professional life because they love music enough to devote tens of thousands of hours to practicing and devoting everything they have to it. And so, the reaction you get from young people and the reaction you get from people in their 40s or their 70s when you play a Brahms symphony, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
That's part of what's so special about music, is that it speaks to people because it does. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I got introduced to it, it was, here, let me show you how to record an orchestra, and I've been hooked ever since. Yeah. I am so grateful to you for doing this, and I mean this in terms of this radio show, and this in terms of the things that you do with WYSO and with the Madison Symphony too. You are literally making this a better place to live, and I appreciate it.
I don't know what to say other than thank you very much. You overwhelmed me.
It is totally true.
Thank you.
And so now we move from a string quintet to a piano quintet, and would any of you like to say a sentence or two about the piece that you're about to do? Can I rope somebody into that? You feel like it? Okay, go for it.
So this piece is actually a product of another piano quintet that Dvorak wrote about 10 years earlier. His first one he wasn't satisfied with, so he actually burned the manuscript, and then he had second thoughts a while later, and he pulled it out again and he got it from a friend because he burned the old one. Yes, but then he wanted to make some edits, and he was like he didn't actually like it that much, so he just decided to write a whole new one in the exact same key. So that is what we'll be playing today.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So if you're a writer, like if you get a little finicky and you're a little bit critical of your own work, maybe stop short of actually burning the old thing. Maybe just kind of put it in a drawer and let it sit. But all right, let's hear it whenever you're ready. I realized that I had the members of the first group all introduce themselves. I didn't do that for you guys. So we've met you, Mira, but let's have your name again.
Mira Bradley.
Mira Bradley, thank you. And you met her earlier. She did my liner.
I'm Monona Suzuki.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Andrew Sear.
Andrew,
I'm Anna-Sophie Brilla.
nice to meet you.
I'm Antonio Wu.
And Andrew, I have a quick question for you. Was in the version that the composer burned, that which I still find incomprehensible, was that beautiful cello melody in there, or was that was it wasn't? So
That was new. Yes, that was not originally in there. He actually wrote a new version of it.
okay, so it kind of worked out for you. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, cool. Because I think he had probably had you in mind for that. That was great. Thank you all so much. That was terrific. Yeah. Let's hear it again. So you're listening to Sunday Afternoon Live with Buzz Kemper on 98.7 WVMO, and we are listening to chamber groups associated with WYSO, the Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestras, and we really are live from the Audio for the Arts studio, and we've got a live audience and everything. This is really exciting, and I'm only a little bit nervous. And with me now, I was speaking with the music director earlier, Kyle Knox. With me now is my friend Carl Levine, who is the chamber music director for WYSO, and you're also the principal cellist for the Madison Symphony Orchestra. And you and I have worked together once or twice in that capacity, 1 or 200 times, many years. I know. Yeah, we have survived so many of the Christmas programs, and yeah, it's great. I mean, I've gotten through them with hardly any therapy at all. So no, I love those shows, but man, they are difficult. So let's talk a little bit about this program. Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestras obviously was originally formed around full symphonic orchestra sized groups. How did the chamber program come about, and what is your role with it now?
Well, I mean, oddly, I was actually a WYSO alum myself, and back in the mid 70s, it was one of the first years, I guess 77, 78, where they started introducing quartets into the program. Okay. And I was in one of those first groups that went out in the area and did some little, micro touring around Madison and Dane County, and
okay, I didn't even know
played in some different venues. But and then since then, I mean, it's blossomed incredibly. I mean, we're over almost anywhere from 85 to 100 kids a year in the program now.
Okay.
So
in the overall program, or in the chamber?
Just in the chamber.
Just
program.
in the chamber.
We've got
program.
over 500 in the orchestra.
That is unbelievable. So that, and this I imagine gives the students a much different type of experience. And because you are very experienced in both, how would you describe, from a player standpoint, we know from a listener standpoint, from a musician standpoint, what is the different mindset between playing in a quintet as opposed to playing in an 80-piece symphonic ensemble?
Well, I mean, the big factor is the conductor.
Okay.
We don't have a conductor.
Okay.
And there's a whole element of just listening and communication and experiencing a piece like these that we're hearing today with one person on a part. And for many of the kids that are in the program, not these guys, these are our veteran players for sure, but some of the younger kids, they've never done this before. So it's a new experience for them. And it opens up a whole new world of music for them, and just how they get, around the idea of playing in a group. And it's a social thing too, for kids, I think. It was for me. And I think that, there's a tremendous amount to be learned from learning these pieces and learning the scores, which is something we try to do a lot of in our coaching of the groups. And so, yeah, it's a different experience for sure than playing an orchestra. And I think it all, for me, it's helped my orchestra playing a lot, just in terms of how I listen and pick up things and communicate across the orchestra to people. And
yeah, I would think so. Being in a smaller ensemble, obviously you're saying, one person to a part most of the time, and you've got you're just much more exposed out there.
Right.
That probably makes it more exciting and more scary.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's terrific. I love it. Sort of like doing a live radio show.
Yeah, right.
Oddly, why does that come to mind? I also want to acknowledge you have a lot of colleagues who help make this happen. I want to acknowledge one who's here. Leanne League is here, and she's the coach for this group. And I see you have your violin in your hand. Are you playing? Are you? I'm holding for these versatile. Oh, she's holding for the okay. Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, good deal. I thought maybe you were getting ready, like you were a pinch hitter. You're getting ready to run in case one of them passes out. Okay, no, we definitely.
And actually, Marcus Bridges is also here. He's the coach of this group that did the Mendelssohn and the Brahms. So
hello,
he's in the other room over there. So.
Okay, terrific. How many other colleagues do you have helping out with this chamber program?
It depends from year to year. Typically, we've got 12 to 15, 16 coaches that work with the kids, and each coach, most of the coaches have 2 groups that they work with us, a year.
Okay,
and they stay with that group the whole year, usually. We've got a good mix between the groups that are from the upper level orchestras, the fill in the youth orchestras, and then the symphony and concert orchestras also. So we've got, I'd say, maybe this year, we've got about 28 groups that are up.
Okay, that is absolutely amazing. Well, thank you guys for, as I said with Kyle, thank you for all that you do.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is really enriching the community, and I'm really glad. And I want to thank you, by the way, the musicians, for doing this. This is bold stuff. I mean, just come in and play on live radio. That is really, really terrific, and I applaud your boldness. It literally. So, who would like to tell me a bit about this next piece? Ava, is that your job again? All right, you did really well the first time, so let's stick with a good thing.
So we will be playing the first movement of the Brahms Viola Quintet Opus 11 in G major. This was composed in the summer of 1890, and it was one of Brahms' last pieces before he was going to retire, which is usually called a swan song. And so this was considered his swan song. And when he signed it up to the publisher's proof, he added a note and said, "With this letter, you can bid farewell to my music, because it is certainly time to leave off." And after he composed this piece, he did not write anything else except for a few chamber works featuring the clarinet, and then he died in 1897.
Okay. And Ava, quickly, just for our listeners who know something about classical music but are probably not experts, most of them probably know that a standard string quartet is first violin, second violin, viola, and cello. What is a viola quintet? So
a viola quintet consists of 2 violins, a cello, and 2 violas.
Okay, all right. So there you go. Double the violas, and here we go. Whenever you are ready. I'm not always the most observant, but at first I realized, they switched chairs. But you actually switched instruments for this, right? So who played what on the first piece and then switched?
So all four of us are violinists and violists. So Mary and I played viola for the Mendelssohn, and now we're playing violin for the Brahms. And then Ellen and Ben, they are both playing viola for the Brahms, and they played violin for Mendelssohn.
Wow, that's doubly cool. So how many new brain cells did you have to grow to do that? That is no idea. Okay,
But
you
just started on viola, right?
you just started on viola. Okay, let's have a special hand. Come on, that is pretty amazing with this complex music. Thank you so much. So we have been listening to two chamber groups from WYSO, the Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestras, a viola quintet, which you heard now and at the beginning of the program, and then also we heard a piano quintet. And the show is Sunday afternoon live with Buzz Kemper. And this is the first time we've actually done this live. I want to thank a whole bunch of people for making this all possible. First of all, my guests, Carl Levine and Kyle Knox from WYSO. Thank you all very much. Our video director is Bruce Johnson, who took all this wonderful stuff and made it look good. I suppose I should have combed my hair, but there you go. Our audio director is Audrey Martinovich, my business partner here at Audio for the Arts. Our camera operators are Noah Gilfillan right back there. We've got Grant Blashka, who is also our web guru, and Tyler Willenbrink, also operating camera on this thing, and the musicians of WYSO, of course, and back at WVMO, Will Nimmo. And Will has a colleague whose name I wrote down and left on the pad in there. Audrey, can you see the name on the notepad in there? I want to thank Will's colleague. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to say thank you, Will's colleague. She's getting on the talkback. She's going to tell me. She can read. Eric Jandro, also with WVMO. Thank you to all those people. And am I forgetting anybody? Did I get everybody who's working on this program?
Tell us who you are again.
Oh, I'm just the host. I had the easiest time of all with this thing. I'm Buzz Kemper, and it is really a pleasure to be able to do this show for WVMO. The people at VMO have been so good to me. They've let me do any genre I want. It's all kinds of music. It's mostly local musicians, and when I asked them if I could do this one live, they all just jumped in with both feet. So thank to them and Kyle.
Buzz, just for a moment, I'd like to, on behalf of WYSO, thank you for having us. It's been a real special pleasure, and you deserve some credit for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle. It's my pleasure, and so that's it. We'll see you again next month. You may roll the theme. I love live radio. Roll, and we will see you again next month on Sunday Afternoon Live with Buzz Kemper right here on 98.7 WVMO.